Getting to your goal is perfection, and perfection is never achieved. It's always a pursuit. I love that saying. And in a minute, we'll introduce you to the guy who said it, talking the automotive business with COO of Genesis North America, Ted Mengiste. I know I said his name right. I know I did. You're entering the enterprise zone at the Nasdaq. Hello everyone, it's Jabari Young, senior writer at Forbes at the Nasdaq, and you're in the enterprise zone. And I am joined by Ted Mengiste. He is the COO of Genesis North America, spent over 30 years in the automotive business, making stops at Nissan, Infiniti, all those luxury brands, and here you are now growing Genesis luxury brand. I drive a Genesis, Ted, and so I am very excited to talk to you, you know, about the light that might come on and all that, man.
You
so
held out till now.
Oh man, listen, I didn't tell anybody. I got one though. I can't tell you what year because I don't want nobody to be following me. Hey, just Jabari, I don't like what he said. Get to my car. But I love the car, man. I love Genesis. I never thought I would like that when I was trading in a Lexus. But here it is, I have a Genesis, so this has been a phenomenal opportunity to even talk to you, man. So
well, thank you.
Yeah, no problem, man. Well, this is the first time at the Nasdaq. It's your first time here?
This is my first time, and I'm impressed with what you have here.
I cannot believe this is your first time, man. You've been at Ford and Nissan. This is your first time here?
It's first time here. You know, I've been waiting for you, Jabari, to call me up.
Man, listen.
You know, waited till you bought the car, and
I was waiting for you.
You know?
I was waiting for you to get a COO at Genesis, and here we are, right? Perfect timing.
Very good.
So here we are, man, at the Nasdaq, Ted. Give me a stock, man. What's been working well for you, and maybe something that you may buy or invest in?
Oh, geez. I don't know. You know, I do like to invest in the stock market. I'm more of a technology guy. I like to see, not to see, but where the future's going, right? I think you know, if you look back in history, the Industrial Revolution was a period in time of great growth, and I think the technology revolution is happening now. So for me, that's the sector I look at the most. Yeah,
most definitely. And listen, you're a huge sports fan, right?
Yes.
So I have to get who you cheering for now. What's your favorite sport?
Well,
I know you live in LA, right? So you're the Lakers because they got Luka.
We do, and they've put on a few good games here. They you know, Luka, I was really proud to see him go back to Dallas and do what he did.
Emotional moment, man.
So I am a Lakers fan. You root for the home team, so that's what I love. I love college sports as well. Indiana basketball, my undergrad, Michigan football, my grad school. So. Those are my teams.
Yeah, I love it, man. I love it. Listen, as we talk, we're in April, right? Financial Literacy Month. Give me the biggest piece of money management advice, right? The best piece of money management advice that you've ever received.
You know, the best advice I ever received was to invest in solid companies and never try to time it. Play the long game, and typically things work out. So there's always bumps in the road. But if you pick a good company that you believe in and you believe in their product, and there'll always be bumps in the road, but the long game is what to play.
Yeah, I love that. So a fifth grader comes up to you and he says, "What is it that you do, Mr. Ted?" What do you tell him? How do you respond?
I sell cars.
You sell cars. Is that easy?
That's what I do. I have an 11-year-old and a 9-year-old, and that's what I tell them too, because it gets a little complicated, but in the end, what I do is very simple. I sell cars, and I make every effort to ensure the buying process and the ownership experience is world class and second to none. That's the goal we have every day we come to work.
Yeah, I love that. Well, Sun Nim. Right?
Sun Nim, honored guest,
right? You're my guest here. So Sun Nim, welcome, man. I appreciate it.
I feel it.
Yeah, man. Listen, as we jump into obviously some news, man, because I definitely want to get into the history of Genesis and how it's making its impact in North America. But you know, listen, you're in the automotive business. I'm sure your head is spinning all the time with tariffs impacting your sector. I can't even say the numbers. It might change, Ted, by the time this interview comes out. But as I'm looking at it right now, right, you have a 25% tariffs on imported cars, 25% steel and aluminum, right? That makes up half the weight of cars. And you have some analysts predicting that tariffs, even if a 10% tariff across the board, be about $6,000 to $10,000 per car, right? Added to a new car, $6,000 average, Morgan Stanley says. But as a COO, you know, of a luxury brand in a car. How are you dealing with the talk of tariffs? How's the company dealing with it? Is your head spinning? And how much Tylenol are you having to take every single day?
Well, I'll tell you, it really goes back to what I just said earlier. We play the long game. We've invested in the United States a considerable amount of money. I was just in Savannah, Georgia about 10 days ago or so, and we just opened our brand new manufacturing facility there, and we've invested over $12.6 billion in Savannah. We have a plant in Montgomery, Alabama that builds our #1 selling model, which is a GV70 SUV in the United States, built in the United States. So again, we do what we do best. We build cars, we service our customers, give them the best experience possible, and we play the long game. So what we've done to that end is we've come out with a communication to everyone that says we won't raise prices until June 2nd, and you know, we'll remain flexible and we'll go from there.
Yeah. As a consumer, right, what incentive do I have to buy a car right now? I mean, listen, I told you I drive a Genesis. I'm always looking at upgrading, but what's my incentive now? I got interest rates high, and now I have to possibly pay more, right?
Yeah.
How do you still convince consumers in this particular time to still buy?
I think product still wins, and our product, I think, is the best on the market. We have a refreshed or facelift GV70 SUV coming out, just hit the dealer lots, and is selling very well. So in the end, consumers will always gravitate to what makes the most sense for them, and it can't just be what's the cheapest. It's got to be what meets their needs the most and what's the most attractive vehicle, and that's where Genesis comes in. We've been on tremendous growth trajectory since we've introduced the brand, and I don't see that slowing down. And we just had a record month in March. We had our best quarter in our history with over 17,500 vehicles sold in Q1 of 2025. So consumers are discovering us and voting for us in their purchases.
Yeah, I tell you, I love the car. I do.
Yeah.
I mean, it gives you that luxury feel.
Yep.
I'm learning you will pay a luxury price, right? Genesis has come up now. So, but sticking with the tariffs for a second, though, can automotive company, is there a benefit? Can they like take advantage of a tariff at all? Like, is there a positive, is there opportunity there? I mean, I know you're going to get more money, but you got to pay more on tariffs as well.
I don't know where we go with that. I think the focus just has to be getting the best value proposition you can for your customer. And when that happens, you go out into the marketplace and you compete. And so far, we've been winning, not just in volume gains every month, year over year, but with market share as well. So that's what we look at every day to see if we're doing the right thing. Yeah. And so far, it's been good.
Yeah. With the company as a whole, you talk Genesis. I mean, again, a record month in March. No layoffs planned at all.
No.
Great.
No.
Hiring? Are you guys hiring?
Yeah, there's a few roles that we still have open that we're hiring, as an example, on my team. So again, we're playing the long game. We're a growing company. We have confidence in what we're doing. We're investing in the United States. So with all of that, we just see positivity going forward.
Yeah. Is there anything that Ted hears that isn't being talked about when the word tariffs and the automotive, when they are in the same sentence? Is there something that isn't being talked about? Maybe is the theatrics happen that we are just focused on one thing, but you see something. You've been in this business, Ted, for over 30 years, right? Yeah. Is there something that's not being talked about?
Not that I know of. I mean, Jabari, if you focus a lot on kind of the bumps in the road or tariff conversation, et cetera, you can get distracted of doing what you need to do on a daily basis. Yeah. And what we do on a daily basis is come in. We find ways to provide the best experience for our customers and to make our vehicles the most competitive in the marketplace from a design standpoint, product durability, quality, and service. And typically, if you do that, in the long run, you win, and that's what we do.
Yeah, absolutely. Listen, well, congratulations, first of all. You were named COO of Genesis North America in January this year, so congratulations on that, man.
Thank you.
What's it like being COO of an up-and-coming luxury brand?
It's busy.
Yeah, I'm sure.
It's busy, but I got into this business straight out of college. I didn't think I'd be in it very long. I thought, I could learn something from the corporate world and go out and become an entrepreneur. You look back almost 30 years later, and I'm still here. But it's a fascinating business. You can do so many different things in automotive and never leave automotive. You can go into franchising, sales, marketing, product development, and all these kinds of things, and it's exciting. And in the COO role, you get to do all of it.
Yeah.
Right. And you get to see your scope and the spectrum of the business that you get to touch and experience every day. For me, is energizing. Yeah. I love it.
Yeah, and I tell you, man, again, it's personal for me. I worked at a car dealership. I worked at Standalone Toyota. I was a lot attendant. I worked in the service. I was changing oil, doing tires, sales, and drumming people around, man.
So
Of course,
Jabari, come back, man.
Yeah,
listen,
man, I like it here at the Nasdaq, though. You said I don't want to change the oil, tires. I had enough fun, but it teaches you work ethic when you are in those. And I got a chance to learn about cars a lot from some great mechanics.
Yeah.
Standalone Toyota. That's where I learned it from. But sticking to your role, man, it's been the biggest positive surprise of being COO.
It's the people. I am truly blessed to have just such a great team, and in my new role, I get to have a working experience with the teams that I didn't have a supervisory role with before, because I came out of sales. And the talent pool is amazing. The eagerness to learn and deliver is outstanding, and the camaraderie and the one team spirit is more than I expected, and it energizes me every day.
Yeah. How about the biggest negative surprise? There's always positives and negatives. What's been the biggest negative surprise? Like, hey, you didn't tell me it was going to be like this.
Well, I don't know if it's negative, and I mean this honestly. I really love what I do. There's a lot of it. I was just saying earlier, I have an 11-year-old and a 9-year-old, and there's times that you have to build in time for your family as well, right? Because your work can't consume 24 hours out of the day. So it's one of those things. I enjoy what I'm doing, but I have to find ways to balance my time with my family, and I think that's a balancing act that takes a while to figure out.
Well, what's your day-to-day like? I mean, you get up in the morning, right? You read Forbes.com, right? And after Forbes.com, then what? Like, what's going on? You drinking coffee, you're going over, right? And then you go outside and say, which Genesis I'm going to drive today? Like, what's your day-to-day?
So I have a team on the East Coast. I'm an early riser. I get up usually about 4:30, 5 o'clock at the latest.
In the morning?
In the morning.
Oh, so I can text you then. I'm up.
Absolutely. I'm up. My team in the East Coast knows. I usually I exercise. I have a little gym at the house. I watch the financial news every morning. And then I'm usually in the office on a busy day, 6:30 to 7. On a regular day, 7 to, at the latest, 7:30. We don't really have meetings starting until 8 o'clock, but I like to ramp up rather than just come in and go straight to a meeting. So I catch up on anything happening from headquarters in Korea.
Yeah.
That way, when you start your day and everyone else is coming in at 100%, you're kind of geared up, and I know where I'm going for that day.
Yeah. So you're a believer in going into the office, right? Like,
absolutely.
Yeah.
Do
you guys work from home at all? Is it?
So the leadership team comes in every day, but we have a flex schedule for middle management.
Yeah. Do you see that changing at all? More people coming back in?
We'll see. I think it's optional right now on a number of days that senior group managers and senior managers come in, and what I find is they actually coming in more days than they're allotted. Yeah. There's something to be said about being in close proximity with people you work with. You work faster, and you work and typically the output is better because you have collaboration and conversations that are difficult to do sometimes impromptu over video conference. Yeah. So you just see employees just naturally coming in.
Yeah, I tell you, man, I start to come in more. It's like work. It's messing with my work-home balance, right? But even though I'm a journalist, I've always worked from home, but everybody else is home too. I'm like, I gotta get out of here. You know what I mean? But
Exactly.
Your story, man, Ted, is interesting, right? You were born in Africa, right? Born in Ethiopia, grew up in Kenya, went to St. Mary's School in Nairobi.
The Saints.
Yeah, man. I mean, what was that like growing up in Africa, and when did you move to the U.S.?
So I didn't know any different because that's where I'm from.
Yeah.
My dad worked for Ethiopian Airlines and was based in Nairobi, Kenya, so I went to school there. And I left Kenya in 1987. So I moved here in 87, went to school here, got a job.
Was it a culture shock moving?
Maybe a little bit,
Yeah.
but I mean, to be expected, right? I'd never grown up anywhere other than where I was from. And but I'll tell you, moving here, some of my best friends in high school are still my best friends today.
Yeah.
And it's a lesson to say no matter where you go, right? Don't be intimidated or fearful about different places or cultures. If you go and experience it, you're going to find good people everywhere. And the world is a good place.
Yeah, it is. It is. And that's what I'm saying. Great. Africa, that's a place. I always ask a question. I'll ask you at the end of it. Where would you put your money anywhere in the world? And a lot of people come up here over the last few weeks have pointed to Africa, South Africa, or whether it be Nigeria, now maybe Kenya.
Yeah.
So, that's very interesting. But as a child roaming around, did you know that you were going to get into cars? Like, what did you want to be? A basketball player?
No, I knew that wasn't in the cards for me. I was a soccer player growing up back in school. What did I want to be? I wanted to be a pilot because that's what I knew. That's what my dad business was. He wasn't a pilot, but I always grew up in airports. And back in the day, when we would fly anywhere, my dad knew all the pilots. I'd fly in the cockpit, right? And takeoff and landing, and that's what I wanted to do. So typically, you want to be in a career that you're familiar with. And then after I moved to the United States, one of my first interviews on campus was with an automotive OEM, and I said, let me do it for a little bit, and I got a new car, which was amazing.
You keep a job because you got to pay a bill.
And then
I got a car loan.
And then I got hooked, right? So it's been great.
Yeah, cars do that to you, man.
They
Get
do.
you very, very hooked. I'm telling you.
I'm glad I'm in the car business because there's nothing else I'd want to do.
Yeah, I mean, listen, 16 million cars are sold in America every year almost.
Yep.
So it's not going anywhere, right?
No.
We know that. But then you leave, again, Africa and come to the U.S. and you mentioned going to Indiana and then Michigan. But you also completed the executive program at UPenn, right? And so you were in Philly from time to time. Yeah. Did you get a cheesesteak when you were down there at all? Like, where did you go?
I did. I couldn't. I'm not a cheesesteak, expert. But is it Geno's or
Geno's and Pass? Everybody goes there. You got to get you Jim's, man. I'm from Philly, Ted. That's my hometown. I got to get you there.
I blame you, Jabari. I blame you for not letting me experience that.
Yeah, I got to get you. But I bring up that because from time to time I'm scrolling on Instagram and I'll see that UPenn always has those executive programs. Yeah. I thought about doing one in private equity. Yeah. But would you recommend that to someone on a 100%. Career climb?
100%. I would say my MBA program, I never studied harder in my life than I did going through Michigan. But it was different because it was about business, which I enjoyed, and it was something I wanted to do, not anything I had to do. Yeah. And the professors were phenomenal, and it was an amazing experience. And it was the exact same thing at Wharton. The Wharton professors that came in to teach us, I think it was just as valuable to them to hear from executives in business as it was for us to hear from them as professors and teachers. So there was this great exchange of experience, and maybe a professor throwing out their theory on a certain situation, and a student may rebut with, well, no, this is what's really happening on the front line, and that conversation is so rich that you learn from it just the same as you would a textbook or
so
an exam.
It's a two-way street of it.
It's a two-way street for sure.
Yeah, I like that. I didn't know of that. I thought I was, hey, man, this is going to be more work, more papers. I haven't written the papers since I don't know how long. But I love that. Now you got me very interested in that those programs. Well, when you're hiring executives, what do you look for? What does Ted look for in an exec?
You look for, depending on the role, you look for the experience that will contribute to that role. So by the time you get to an interview, the experience is already there on the resume. So you look for personality and cultural fit, and you want someone that's a team player, that wants to develop people, and believes in winning as a team versus winning as an individual. And I think if you can find that in someone that is got a sense of a long-term vision, you know, what is your vision for 5 years out? What is your vision for yourself 10 years out? It really tells you a lot about someone, whether they're in it to grow themselves, or they're in it to have achievements for the company, right? In totality, as a team in totality. And if you can get a team player that's smart and has a great experience, there's nothing stopping you. That's when 1 + 1 = 3.
Absolutely, yeah. And then we can take the 3 and apply it to a cheesesteak.
There we go.
Flashback, man. People may not understand the Genesis history, right? And you let me know if I'm wrong at any point here, but it's part of the Hyundai family. Hyundai is a South Korean car. People still think that Genesis is a Japanese car. No, it's a South Korean car, and it entered. Hyundai did the U.S. market 1986, around that time, I believe. And now, thanks to the globalization of automobiles, like, you know, these different brands have been made, and now Hyundai has Genesis, a standalone brand now, right? Again, you mentioned the G70, G80 series, SUVs. As I flash back to 2021, you sold more than 49,000 annually for the first time ever, correct? Great. And now in 2024, is that up at all? 49 annually, is that up at all? 2025?
In 2025, we sold 75,000.
Wow.
So we're proud of that.
So far this year?
75,003. In 2024. In 2025, we've sold just over 17,500. So we're on pace to break prior year.
Wow.
As well. So we're off to a great start. The brand is about 10 years old.
Yeah.
It came to the United States a year after it was...
the Genesis brand.
The Genesis brand is 10 years old. It came to the United States 9 years ago, so it started out in Korea. Before that, there was a Genesis model for Hyundai, but the brand is 10 years old. And it's been a phenomenal experience. The Genesis brand does not share platforms, vehicle platforms, with Hyundai. We have our own independent platform. So in essence, it is purpose-built luxury vehicle, and not another platform being upgraded.
And so if you buy, like, I use Toyota for example, but a lot of times if I bought a Camry, an uploaded Camry, and I go get a Lexus, I feel like I'm driving the same car, different emblem. You're saying that doesn't exist with the Hyundai because you don't share those.
We don't. We have our own independent platforms, and we really commit the investment to the Genesis brand to make it a true Tier 1 luxury brand.
Yeah, I love that. So standalone dealers, because you're a standalone brand. I know the first one was in Lafayette, Louisiana. You got one in Cherry Hill near me. I haven't been there yet. I always just go back to the Honda dealership. Well, I thought the Honda people was fixing it fine, but now I got to go to Genesis now, right?
You do.
And on a podcast, you had mentioned that there was 70 was the goal last year. How many standalones are you at now in 2025?
So we're at 68 so far this year, Jabari. There's still a lot completing every month, so that will continue to grow throughout the year. You're correct. Art LeBlanc in Lafayette, Louisiana was the first one. Cherry Hill is a store close to you. White Plains, Genesis of White Plains is another one right here. We were just there this morning to visit that facility. But the independent facilities, you really have to go to it, because much like our vehicles designs are cutting edge and like nothing you've seen, a GV70 to a GV80, it's not just a bigger version of the GV70. They're all uniquely designed, and the interiors are absolutely stunning. And that's what's driven a lot of curiosity to our vehicles. But our dealerships, our retailer facilities are exactly the same. When you walk in, they don't feel like a dealership. They feel very luxurious, and they have a lot of Korean DNA in them to reflect the origin of our brand. And the comments coming back are, this doesn't feel like a dealership, it feels like a like a modern country club, and I encourage everyone to go just visit the store, and I think you'll find a different.
And to improve the storytelling around it, you also have the Genesis House in New York.
Absolutely,
right? I mean, that's like a restaurant and all this Genesis. I've never been before. I wasn't invited. I didn't. Nobody invited me, Ted. No,
Maybe if you get me the Philly cheesesteak.
We're gonna listen. After this, we'll do that deal. Okay, I'll take the
Done.
Genesis House for cheesesteak any
Done.
day.
Done.
But I mean, is that help at all with clientele? And if a person maybe not own a Genesis, they go to Genesis House, sit down and have it. Does that help?
The Genesis House is our most authentic reflection of the brand in the United States. It in the cellar level, we hold events down there where we have a big electronic board, and you can hold different types of fashion shows or whatever it may be, vehicle unveilings. In the middle floor, we have our showroom, which has all of our models, concept vehicles. Sometimes after the New York Auto Show, we'll leave there for consumers to take a look at. And on the third floor, as you say, we have a Korean restaurant, a tea pavilion, and a library where you can just go relax.
Wow.
Right? So, Jabari, honestly, I would love to take you out to Genesis House for a meal after the cheesecake.
Oh, no, I thought you were sending the invite. I was just going to have it on camera. He invited me.
But I would.
Can you have live events there too? Like for
sure.
Because we have Forbes. We have a lot of live events. Do it at the Genesis House.
Let's go.
Yeah, listen, I love it. Take me on the inside right fast, man. And on the $21 billion investment in the United States, right? From 2025 to 2028, you guys say you're going to invest $21 billion. This investment is going to be focused on manufacturing, advancing future technologies, and enhancing the energy infrastructure. And you say that it will create more than 100,000 jobs.
Yeah.
Am I missing anything? What is, if a person right now, I don't know, because they got laid off from federal government job and anything, and they want to make the switch because they hear this interview, what is Genesis offering in this $21 billion investment? If I'm a person who may be looking for employment, where am I going to find career opportunities?
Yeah, the investment's being done by the Hyundai Motor Group, and it's quite evident, like the investment that we did in Savannah. Part of the $21 billion includes an expansion. During the grand opening ceremony in Savannah, we announced the expansion of that plant from a capacity of 300,000 units a year to 500,000 units a year. We also announced a steel mill project in the state of Louisiana, as well as all of the other items that you mentioned, including logistics and increased capacity and all of that to come with it. So all of that to say is we are investing in the United States. We believe in the United States. It's our largest market for Genesis outside of Korea is in the United States. And we're playing the long game, and we know that investing here is a good return on our money, and I think also good for our consumers because they get great products from us.
Yeah, I'm telling you, does it feel like, listen, at one point Mercedes was entering the market and then all the other luxury, cars enter. Does it feel like this is a moment where Genesis can take on some of that, market share? Because again, Mercedes had paused, their shipments, as well as Land Rover. European car makers are probably going to be going through some geopolitical issues as we get the tariff stuff down. Is this an opportunity for you guys to come into the North American market and be that luxury brand? Because I tell you, Ted, since I started driving a Genesis, I've really not looked at a Mercedes. I haven't looked at a Lexus. I ain't gonna lie, I did look at a couple of Range Rovers, man. They're nice cars, Ted. But now I'm gonna do the GA70 to 80. But is it an opportunity for you guys now?
Well, it has been. Our growth trajectory for the last 5 years has been amazing. Our market share has been growing at a tremendous rate for the last 5 years. At this moment, we're not stopping shipments, right? We're playing the long game, and we continue to ship cars to the United States. We're not increasing prices as we announced to our customers and retailers until, at least through June 2nd.
And that could change.
Well, we'll see what happens. No, at least in the meantime, what we've said is we're going to hold the course. We're not disrupting or changing our business model, and we'll keep going. And so far, in the month of April, we've been doing great, even better than the month of March, and better than prior years. So it's all good news. We're on a good momentum.
Yeah. Are you guys bringing in techs? Are you bringing in more execs? Like, again, back to that $21 billion investment, as far as areas of where those jobs are going to be, where are they coming from?
I think it'll be across the board, Jabari. As we invest, you'll see opportunities across the board.
Yeah. Yeah. Speaking of EVs, are you guys, still expected to go full electric by 2030? Is that still in the cars? I know EV is going through a little bit of a change right now because of the CHIPS Act and what have you.
I think the most important thing is to meet our customers on their journey to electrification. We believe that the journey to electrification will happen.
Yeah.
The pace is to be determined. So we won't force the customer to go to EVs, but we'll meet them on their journey to EVs. So the timeline, TBD. But we're gonna provide the products that that the customers want, the consumers want in the United States, and provide the best models that we can.
Yeah, yeah. I had a question from our producer, and if you don't like it, he's right over there. You can go smack him after that. But it's when you think about what success looks like for Genesis, and not just in terms of sales, right? But in terms of identity, in terms of trajectory, how does the company want to be understood, and how do you keep your vision clear, especially when you have a company like Tesla who always is in the news because of who their owner is and creates so much of the conversation, they have so much of the public narrative. How do you keep your vision clear? How do you do that storytelling? Like, what does that look like for you guys?
I'm glad you asked that question.
Thank you.
So
you shake his hand after.
I'm going to shake your producer's hand after this. I think how we want our company to be remembered can be most exemplified by what just happened in February. We have our Genesis Invitational Golf Tournament at the Riviera Country Club, hosted by Tiger Woods every year. And there were some devastating fires in the LA area, as you know, in January this year. And it was just tragic. And we wanted to keep the golf tournament within the state of California, Southern California, and we wanted it to mean something for the citizens of Southern California. And through that process, we came out with a campaign called California Rises. And California Rises became a rally cry for moving the tournament in 12 days, business days, from the Palisades to San Diego, Torrey Pines, which was an amazing feat that the team pulled off. I don't know how they did it, a lot of sleepless nights. But through that process, between the PGA Tour, the TGR Foundation from Tiger Woods, and Genesis, we raised over $8 million to go towards wildfire relief, and we included in there 100 vehicles donated to organizations that needed vehicles, like the LA Fire Department, etc., that were tournament vehicles driven by the PGA Tours. So if someone wants to think about who is Genesis, we want them to say they're great neighbors and citizens and business to have, because they're a fabric of our community.
Yeah, I love that. Well, I came up with the questions. You can shake my hand. I was giving Travis just in case you didn't.
You didn't know which way it was gonna go.
Right, but thank you for that, man. But listen, if you describe, we're ready to wrap up here. In one word, again, you've been through Ford, you've been through Nissan, and helped that Infiniti brand. I drove an Infiniti myself. But if you had to describe your career in one word, what would it be?
Amazing.
Amazing. Why amazing?
Is beyond my wildest dreams. I didn't, you have a young kid that got into the automotive industry because, I like cars. I didn't know I could make a career out of it, and I definitely didn't think, it wasn't intentional that I'm going to be a COO of a company. It's just the love of the business for me made this possible for me, and I'm blessed, and I have something amazing to be thankful for.
Yeah, I love it, man. As you play it forward, right, what's Ted's trait? What's the best trait that you used on your career climb that you would recommend to the next COO of Genesis one day?
Work hard and be good.
Work hard and be good. Simple. Yep. I love that. Gets you out of here on some fun stuff, man. $1 million question. First million. How did you make it?
I think it was a combination of the market and real estate.
Market and real estate?
Yeah.
Not cars?
No, I wasn't buying cars.
Oh.
I had company cars. But I was moving out of California, which is when you really can make money. But it was probably a combination of the market. It was actually right after the financial crisis when everything was taking off. And that was a great example of playing the long game, you know. It was between that and you know, real estate.
Yeah. How'd you spend it?
I didn't.
You didn't spend $1 million ever?
Well, I don't want to say that.
You're thinking about that luxury car you have.
I reinvested, right?
Yeah.
So when I went back to California, of course, you got to buy another house. But, you know, I think it's important to live within your means as well, you know, because if you stretch yourself too far, then it's hard to weather the bumps, right? So, but if you can live within your means and weather the bumps, then man, you have opportunity to invest when others are pessimistic and grow.
Yeah. Outlook, man, you look at the auto industry in one word, if you had to describe it right now, what would that one word be? Opportunity. Opportunity. I'm glad you said that, because my next question was, is any opportunities in the chaos, right?
Yeah.
What would you say the opportunities are from here until 2030? And I say that because that's full decade.
I think the opportunity is for those that are willing to bet or be brave or be confident in the products that they have an optimistic future. I think if you're pessimistic or a downer on the future, then it's hard to grow or hard to be motivated. I'm confident in the future. I'm confident in Genesis. I'm confident in our products. I'm confident in our retailers and their facilities that they have that we're going to win.
Yeah, I love that. Outlook, man, on you know, Black America as in general, right? Nielsen says that the Black America will be able to have 2.1 trillion in spending power by next year, 2026. When you hear that number, 2.1 trillion, what's the first thing that comes to mind?
A huge consumer base, right? So I think the opportunity to market to every group is available to us, right? So I think our vehicles are beautiful to all. I think presenting our vehicles as an opportunity for a purchase to all communities is important to us. So I think that's a great demographic to market to and grow with. Yeah. And we actually, it is our #1 minority.
I was ready to say, man, Chad, when I go back to North Philly, I see a lot of people driving Genesis, man.
It is our #1 minority.
It was Infinity back in the day, but now I see a lot of people driving Genesis, man. Yes. I love that. Yes. Look around the world, right? Look around the world. Where does Ted put some money at right now outside of the U.S.? Which country are you looking at? Africa?
You know, it's not that I wouldn't, but I don't invest in anything I don't know or understand. So I would need to go back and spend time to understand and truly know the opportunities that are there, and then invest in it. So that it's not being critical of the market. I'm just so bogged down or committed to the U.S. and working and living here and understand this market better. It's maybe easier for me, but that's not to say that Africa is not a market to invest in. I think future growth and opportunity, there is no market better positioned than I would say South America and Africa. Yeah. I think South America and Africa are markets that are untapped and have the most growth looking forward.
Yeah, all the raw materials in Africa.
Oh, for sure.
Man. I mean, the mineral. I mean, it's there. That continent, it's going to explode. It really is. 3 books, right, that inspired Ted to perform or motivate you, right? Perform your best or motivate you. What are those 3 books?
One is a book called The Psychology of Money. It was, you should read it. It's not what you think. Yeah. It's a really good book. I read another book. Actually, I read it in my prior role. My directors and I read a book called The Culture Code, and it embodied the environment that we want to create for our employees and our leadership style and the community that we wanted to create. It was the Culture Code. And then I love all of Malcolm Gladwell's books. So I don't want to go into that.
10,000 hours.
Yeah, all of that. But then another book that I read that was quite insightful was Sapiens. I don't know if you've read Sapiens, but Yuval Steinman, I believe it is, an amazing book. So my reading is quite eclectic right now. My wife and I, my two sons, read every night together.
Yeah.
We take 20 minutes, and they've become big readers from it. And my son didn't like the books I was reading, so he's asked me to read a book that he read. So I'm reading a book called Spy School right now. So.
Spy School.
Spy School. So I'll let you know how that goes.
Yeah, let me know. But I got an 11-year-old. It might be good.
It's before that. A few months ago, I read Harry Potter for the first time because they're. So it all depends, right?
Yeah.
If they're not pushing me to read a book, then I'm usually reading some of the books that I told you about.
Yeah, I loved it though. Spy School, man. I gotta look into that one, man. Yeah. Get you out of here on Good to Great, right after my favorite business book, Good to Great by Jim Collins. What is the difference, Ted? And you should know this, man, between a good luxury car and a great one.
I think a good luxury car is, one that has great leather and great sound system or great looking wheels. I think a great vehicle is one that you feel good driving. You can't really put your finger on it, but you're like, man, I just want to get into that car and drive it. And I think I experience that with our vehicles every day. The car I drove the most for the most number of years was our entry model G70. It is a driver car.
Yeah.
It is one of the most funnest vehicles you could ever drive. And now I'm driving a GV80 Coupe, which is a larger SUV, and it has the same drive dynamics as that car. And it's hard to believe that this bigger SUV can be as fun to drive as a G70. And I think that's a great vehicle.
Yeah, it is, man. I'm telling you, I give it away. I have the G70.
There you go, man. There you go. They're fun cars.
Yeah, man, they are fun, man. You put that thing in sport mode, man.
There you go.
Man.
Sport Plus, be careful.
Yeah.
Sport's great.
Yeah, I'm telling you, man. I love it. Ted, it is a pleasure, man. Thank you so much. I hope you have you back talking to automotive industry, man. This has been phenomenal. And please, come to the BLK Summit, man. We're going to have it down in Atlanta. And so,
I just need an invite and a cheesesteak, and I'm there,
listen,
man.
As soon as I get the Genesis invite, I will send you a cheesesteak.
Done.
Right, and a personal invite to come, man.
Deal.
Definitely. Love to have you. Ted, appreciate it, man. And go to Genesis House. You might see me there, sitting right next to Ted. Enterprise Zone at the Nasdaq. Thank you for watching. Thank you for listening.